Continue our breaking news coverage of a fire that broke out late this afternoon in the area of Humboldt Road in Chico. The CDC has confirmed there is dangerous E. coli in Big Chico Creek. We'll bring you these new breaking details. And the mother accused of letting her 11-year-old daughter take the wheel before that car smashed into a house. Well, she appeared before a judge. We'll tell you how she entered her plea.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
We are tracking breaking news, a fire burning in the area of Humboldt Road in Chico. And Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe went to the scene. She's been there for the last hour or so. She joins us live. So what's the latest on what's happening there? What have you learned in the last hour, Margot?
Alan, the fire is pretty much out, but the scene is still very active. As I mentioned in our earlier newscast, what was burning is actually not a home, but a shed and a pile of debris. Now, a lot of the flames have been knocked down. It is just the mop-up process. But what I did learn is that the firefight didn't stop here. Now, due to the wind and the heavy debris and the embers that came from the fire, 2 spot fires on Highway 32 actually sparked up because of this fire. So in this area, you will see a lot of crews now, not only on Humboldt Avenue between Forest Avenue and El Monte Avenue, but you'll also see fire crews along the Highway 32 corridor, mopping up any of those spot fires and making sure nothing sparks up again. Now, no injuries were reported, and crews are expected to be out here for the next several hours. And as for the cause, that is under investigation. Reporting live in Chico, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
Thank you, Margot. We will, of course, keep you updated on air and online as this story continues to develop. New tonight, the CDC has confirmed that there is dangerous E. coli in Big Chico Creek. Butte County Public Health says it received the lab results from the CDC confirming its presence in multiple locations along the creek. The CDC says it believes the contamination likely came from grazing animals or birds, and that it is very unlikely that the contamination came from human fecal matter. County Public Health Officer Dr. Jarrett Bedoin says that this is not your average creek bacteria. This is a new and dangerous strain of E. coli. Officials say there have not been any new reports of waterborne illnesses linked to the creek since the no swim advisory went into effect on July 18th. This includes Sycamore Pool as well. Now, a live look at the Sundial Bridge, where temperatures are starting to go down as the sun goes down to the west as well. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Howie Gordon, tracking the conditions for us.
For the second day in a row, I didn't see anyone on the bridge out there, Alan.
No.
I don't think I noticed anyone out there. The temperatures came down. They should be out there by now. Either way, as we've dropped temperature-wise, still very much on the hot side. People can find some other things like swimming in safe places or maybe indoor air conditioning. As much as we've come down, Valley still low to mid to upper 90s, still on the hot side. A little better at Chester, just 90, but Paradise at 87 degrees. Now we're talking fires. Here's what we're looking at. So winds, they're not that bad. I'm not seeing really anything in the way of gusts, just some steady winds at about 12 miles per hour. That's not too bad. 15 up there and ready. But again, we're seeing delta breeze help. That's helping with the moisture levels. I know they're still low, but they're slowly starting to increase with a combination of the cooling air and then that moisture being added from the delta. Here's what we have for tomorrow. So these moisture levels, okay, those are more promising. They're getting better. Winds on the lighter side, temperatures coming down a little bit. So we'll keep our significant fire risk potential on the moderate side, but we are going to continue to cool. And we'll talk all about that, Alan, coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Howie. In Chico, for weeks now, road construction has been underway on Bruce Road, Chico Canyon Drive, and California Park Drive. There are quite a few elementary and middle schools in that area near the construction. And Action News Now reporter Sade Pullen joins us live along California Park Drive. So Sade, school starts next week, right?
Yes, Alan, that is correct. School does start next week. Now, Brendan Ottoboni, the public works director for the city of Chico, tells me that the construction is expected to be completed before school starts. If you've been on Bruce Road, Chico Canyon Drive, or California Park Drive, you probably have noticed some torn up roads and loose gravel. Ottoboni says this is part of their road rehab project. He says there was a need to improve what they call the subgrade below the pavement. Last night, Autobahni says crews just started putting the asphalt down, which should be done by Monday. School starts Tuesday. He says after that, when the contractors do the striping of the road, the construction will be done at night between the hours of 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. to avoid any traffic jams for school. Now, south of Highway 32, the Bruce Road widening project is also almost complete and shouldn't have any school travel impacts either.
The majority of the work is done. It's kind of been slow going over the last couple months, but all the finishing touches where we're doing irrigation, all the electrical stuff is all getting done. So over the next month and a half or so, you should really start seeing that project come together with finishing all the concrete for the multimodal path on the west side.
Autobahni says crews will start working on getting lights turned on and doing planting in the center medium. Reporting live in Chico, I'm Sade Pullen, Action News Now.
Thank you, Sade. Both the road project and the Bruce widening project is expected to be funded by Measure H money. New developments now. This Magalia mother pleaded not guilty today to child endangerment. The DA said that she was in the car when her 11-year-old daughter crashed an SUV into a home in Magalia. The CHP said 41-year-old Catherine Cresseman was the only adult in the SUV, along with 5 kids between the ages of 10 and 13. Butte County DA Mike Ramsey charged her with 5 counts of child endangerment. Ramsey also told Action News Now that he has video from one of the girls in the car that shows that Cresseman allowed all the children to drive the car at some point that night. Cresseman was the only one wearing a seatbelt during the crash back on August 4th. If convicted, she could face 15 years in prison. She'll be back in court August 26. The judge rejected her request to reduce the $250,000 bail so she is still in jail. After decades of water shortages and well failures, work is now underway in Palermo in South Butte County to bring a reliable drinking water system to people who live there. Construction the crews began installing water mains this morning at 2 sites, marking the start of the Palermo Dry Well Consolidation Project. Now, the effort is a partnership with Butte County and the South Feather Water and Power Agency, aiming to connect homes with a treated drinking water system.
So it's been an ongoing problem in Palermo for decades, and we finally have some funding to be able to initiate portions of the project.
The first phase is expected to be finished in November. That will be for 49 parcels. Long-term plans call for expanding service to nearly 500 parcels over the next 3 to 5 years, pending additional funding. The Texas Attorney General filed a lawsuit in Tehama County Superior Court amid that state's fight over potential redistricting in the state of Texas. Now, we did see the lawsuit filed Friday that aims to force Democratic lawmakers who left the state to block a vote to return to Texas. While Attorney General Ken Paxton doesn't claim any of the legislators are in Tehama County, in fact, he does say that they don't have to be for the court to act. The suit asks the Tehama County Court to consider this an emergency matter. And according to the lawsuit, a case management conference is scheduled for January 12th of next year. New at 6, Shasta County Clerk and Registrar of Voters Clint Curtis has officially selected Brent Turner to be his top assistant. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield is live at the elections office in downtown Reading. So Blake, what are some of Turner's goals and plans in the new role that you've learned?
Alan, Turner told me that he looks forward to just simply restoring trust in local elections here in Shasta County. This is now going to be the first time that Turner has held a position like Assistant Registrar of Voters at any point in his career. Turner is a lifelong California native from Redwood City and graduated law school in San Francisco. He says County Clerk and Registrar of Voters Clint Curtis and him are friends, and Curtis offered him the job back in June. Turner was featured in an Amazon Prime documentary called The Real Activist back in 2021, where he questioned the legitimacy of Donald Trump's victory in the 2016 presidential election. For nearly 2 decades now, Turner has been a proponent for open source voting systems. He says it's because independent third parties can view the source code in open source voting, which makes them less susceptible to being hacked than black box proprietary voting systems, which don't permit access of source code. Turner is Clinton Curtis's first major hire within the elections office and is replacing Joanna Francisca after her controversial firing by Curtis back in May. This afternoon, I asked Turner what he plans to bring to the table with 2 elections coming up in the next calendar year.
The real mission here is to make sure that the elections are conducted with the utmost integrity and that we're following all legalities and making the County of Shasta and the public proud of the elections department, which I think we've got a great staff here, and I think we're going to look forward to the upcoming election.
Turner's first order of business will be to help conduct the City of Reading's special election to potentially raise the sales tax on November 4th. After that, he'll turn his attention to helping Curtis beat former Assistant ROV Joanna Francisca in next June's election, which would give Curtis his first full term. And I asked Turner just how likely it is that the elections office can move from here in downtown to potentially somewhere else after Curtis talked about it with supervisors yesterday. We had told you guys about that. Turner said that as of now, it's very unlikely they move for the upcoming election in November, but they could move in time for next June's primary. Reporting live in Reading, I'm Blake Mayfield. Action News Now.
Thank you, Blake. Now, Turner, the new assistant registrar, is set to make more than $110,000 a year in salary for that new role. We caught on camera an armed standoff in Yuba City. Police there responded to a call about a man who reportedly may have fired a gun at a person and a dog. Police say Sergeant Chima, armed with a handgun, climbed onto a roof before surrendering. They tried to use negotiations and less than lethal pepper balls. Officers say Chima was reportedly under the influence of drugs. 2 people escaped while another was rescued by the Yuba Sutter Regional SWAT team. Chima was booked into the Sutter County Jail on charges that include attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. New developments: the suspect in a house party shooting in Chico from 3 years ago was in court, assigned a public defender today. Savon Fairbanks was 16 at the time of the shooting. He's now 19, and he's being tried as an adult. The mass shooting happened at a home on 5th Street, September of 2022. Police say Fairbanks fired through a front window with a handgun after not being allowed back into a party. One of the victims is permanently paralyzed. Fairbanks faces life in prison if convicted. He'll be back in court August 20th to enter a plea. New at 6, getting rid of your old cans for a good cause. We'll tell you how Habitat for Humanity is using the cans to support affordable housing projects.